You're listening to the New World to Go podcast with your hosts, Redbyrd and BDLG.
Hello and welcome to another episode of New World to Go. I'm your host, Redbyrd, and with me is Danneh. BDLG's out this week, so, I think our ratings with the ladies are going to improve. I think the amount of hair follicles we have on the podcast has greatly improved. So, nothing but up here. Thanks for listening, guys. Don't forget to leave a 5-star rating and review if you haven't already. If you're watching the YouTube video, we got hit the subscription button, the notification bell. We are completely reworking the YouTube channel, and we have a lot of information coming out soon for that. A lot of cool stuff coming that me and Danneh and BDLG will probably make a video of. So look for that, I guess, soon as well. Danneh, let's hop right in here, dude, with the news. So look at that, dude. Another improvement. No one talked during the drop. So Danneh. Just I mean, dude, you keep going, bro, and you might have the permanent chair on this podcast. BDLG,
watch out, BDLG, watch out.
To find another job to do. So Twitch event, perfect timing too to have you on this week filling in. The Twitch event happened this week to showcase the Tempest Heart dungeon with none other than Danneh, Asmongold, Rich Campbell, and Shroud. Dude, it was a great event. It was pretty funny, comical watching you guys get through the Tempest Heart. It's not an easy dungeon, or expedition rather. So it's kind of funny to see that you guys were struggling there as well. Dude, tell us a little bit about the event. How did it go? What was the reception you saw that was from the community? And anything else you want to add about the Tempest Heart event?
Yeah, absolutely. So, first off, it was an absolute honor to be kind of invited in, especially with these guys. They're kind of Twitch legends at this point. Whether you like them or not, everyone knows their name, and it's just it's a real honor to be among them. It was a difficult. I felt it was very difficult. I'm not very confident in the way I speak, and I'm learning a lot. So being in a Discord channel with some big personalities was very difficult from what I'm kind of normally used to. Kind of streaming on my own and just chatting and stuff. So that was really tough, but at the same time it was mega fun. So definitely had some really lovely comments from our community saying, I kind of held my own, especially kind of pulling them through with my tank, and just said, it was really awesome to watch. Just to kind of explain to you what we did, we got given 585 gear, so we didn't get 600 gear score gear. We were a little bit lower. It was just an entry level dungeon, but there was definitely some interesting builds. I think at one point Rich was running live staff blunderbuss.
not the most optimal DPS situation.
Definitely not. But do you know what? It was so much fun, I really had a great time. An absolute honor. Obviously, we got the Twitch drops came out the moment we kind of started the expedition as well. And that was fantastic. Just, I guess the last thing I'll say on the expedition, if you haven't done it yet, and you're thinking about going on the PTR, get 4 or 5 friends together, or get 4 or 5 people and just go and do it. If you just can't wait, it is actually fantastic. It was really, really fun. They're starting to bring out more mechanics. There was the odd moment, New World things that just didn't work. So, for example, I completely lost my consumables bar and my weapons bar. I had to completely run off memory of what skills were where, and there was the odd time Asmongold was giving me stick because I wasn't pulling aggro quick enough. Yeah. So a bit of banter there. That was good fun. But no, the expedition was amazing, and then leading on to that was the Twitch drops. Obviously we shared, the New World allowed us exclusively between the 4 of us to have these Twitch drops. And I guess lucky for me, or unlucky maybe,
Yeah.
I kind of stayed online for the people. I did it for the people, and for myself, it was really fun. I met so many new people, but we had it exclusively. And the moment we finished the expedition, I think they're kind of hooked on Lost Ark at the moment, so they went back to play
lucky
another
for
game.
you, they're all morbidly addicted to Lost Ark and being whales over there. That's an interesting thing. I think that's a good topic to kind of talk about. Overall, dude, I think the expedition, the visuals of it is second to none. The design, the art team, the environmental team, the sound team, again, like crushed it. Incredible. Dude. The boss fights are a lot more challenging than we're used to, I think, which is another big thing that was noticeable. Obviously, I played the expedition myself as well, and it does set a bar there for difficulty. And I think mutations are going to be insane of this dungeon as well, which they said that, again, that was an exclusive a bit of information that was kind of put forth on this this event, is that there would be a mutation for this dungeon too, to look forward to. But obviously, overall, I think these events go a long ways to, get a dev in there with a bunch of other big streamers and kind of have a face to and a voice to link to this team that's developing this game. I think goes a long ways. I think to your point, dude, Asmongold is honestly very friendly to you. Because I used to watch him like 4 years ago, and if you were on his raid team and you weren't pulling aggro back then, it was like public embarrassment to the highest degree. But it was cool. Obviously, I'm a big fan of all those guys. I watch a lot of Rich Campbell as well. He's a funny guy. So it's good to see all of you guys. Obviously, Shroud and Asmongold, two legends in the Twitch space as well. So overall, I thought it was great. And they just kind of, they left. The event, I think, was to draw attention to it. And for the record, guys, if you're wondering, they did not get paid for the event. It was not a sponsored stream. Rich, Asmond, and Shroud, specifically Asmond and Shroud, they wanted to play New World. They are fans of New World. They did not get paid and then kind of ditch out whenever the drops came. Like, it wasn't something they were like sponsored to do. They genuinely like the game and want to see the game succeed, and they spent their time to help promote it, so that you don't have to question whether they got paid and took the money and ran. Like, that wasn't the case. They came over to play the game and obviously are interested in the game's long-term future. But that is interesting, dude. So they gave them drops and they left. So then you kind of got to capitalize on that. But it's great. I think for the community to involve people that actually play the game as well, because on a regular basis, because in the end, I mean, I think the directory in the New World space, people that are kind of hooked or diehards of the game, I think we have to help prop up that community as well, because as we know, Twitch is an important catalyst or even component in the growth of a video game.
Yeah, no, for sure. I was just going to say, from like a marketing standpoint, I'm so happy they brought me in, and I'm assuming this is the way it's going to be moving forward as well, because you're kind of talking about Twitch here and the views that people get and the power it has behind it is from a marketing point of view, it doesn't really make sense to include people who already play the game, who already watch the game, because they're already playing and they're already watching. So it makes sense to bring from the outside, and it's very rarely done where excuse me, people like me, smaller guys actually get involved in these, because we're already in the game and our audience is already playing and watching the game. So it's like, why would we? It doesn't make sense. So it's really cool that they got me involved, and I assume that this is kind of as long as I've done a good job and kind of done the current community proud, I'm assuming they're going to bring some other people in, some other content creators as well, which would be fantastic. Looking after the current community is is amazing. And if they start to do that more often, then I think that's brilliant. You know, that would be brilliant. But I was just gonna go back into the dungeon quick. While I was the expedition, Mike was saying to me every time we said dungeon, we got to stick $1 in the dollar jar because. All of us were saying dungeon, not expedition.
Yeah,
it's all a good laugh. But one thing that I did ask, the big question that I wanted, obviously I'm extremely keen on PvP and the growth of PvP of a new world, but PvE, you know, whether you do both or one or the other, it doesn't matter so much. But I'm really keen to see the PvE side as well grow. The big question I asked Mike was, will we get some sort of competitive PvE? Will the mutations become competitive? And he said yes, that at some point, who knows when, we're going to get scoreboards for the mutations. So, you know, I don't know how they're going to evolve or how it's going to be done, but at some point we're going to get scoreboards for mutations. And for me, that was awesome to hear, because I was really nervous that they were just throwing out these mutations. You know, you got this new expedition, which is great fun, but to be honest, you know, once you've done it 3 or 4 times, what's the point in doing it again? You know, you've seen it, you've done it, job done. But if they bring out that kind of competitive element, me personally, I've got a reason to go back. I want to beat you, Red. I want to get a better score than you and your 5-man team. I want to, you know, do better. Or me and you, we go and compete against other people on our server, and I think that's really cool. So it's a great opportunity for me to ask a couple of questions as well. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. Great expedition, really good fun, and yeah, hopefully we'll be seeing more of this type of kind of marketing campaigns and content as new things come to New World. And you know, the patch, you know, the patch that's currently on the PTR is actually really exciting, like really exciting.
Right. Well, you make a good point. The time system is going to be obviously add a competitive nature to PvE, which is important to other people. I think it's cool to have time boards and stuff. It begs the question, man, when are we going to get cross-server activities and queues and leaderboards and everything like that? Because, dude, we just transferred servers again this week, and you know what I mean? It's one of those things that it feels bad because we would have stayed on Eden had there not have been, it made it impossible to use the trading post, to craft items, to use Outpost Rush. So hopefully and this is another topic that was kind of revealed, or a lot of people assumed was in the works, but they confirmed it, was arenas, reconfirmed it. I guess they've already said it again. But these systems, to be successful, these PvE rankings and eventually arena ranking systems and queuing for arena and even Outpost Rush and stuff, you would think eventually it's got to be at least a region-wide player base that they can have to pull from to make these things work. Yeah. So hopefully, sorry, I was going to
say I'm pretty shocked is not the right word, but I'm surprised that they haven't made more merges yet. You know, I'm surprised that there's not been. So on the EU side, we have maybe 10 to 15 servers that on an average have less than 100 players, even during prime time. So I'm really surprised that they haven't brought this kind of the current server base together yet. I'm really shocked. So something that's cross server, I think, is really, really important sooner rather than later. Or they deal with the fact that there's really empty servers. And the only reason really that they're not dealing with it and they're locking off the popular servers surely should mean that there is big content coming soon. And we know that there's content coming out. We've got the blunderbuss, we've got the new expedition, but that, in my opinion, is not enough to bring people back. It's the arenas, it's the competitive
Brimstone Sands,
with some new mechanics on some bosses and some new design. All this kind of, that will bring people
company
back.
Housing.
Those great suggestions we made before.
Hey, man. They do listen. I think we continue to be transparent about that. They listen well to the community, and that's a big part of it. But to your point, I think they do want to leave like a spectrum of servers available. They want to have like a high population server and low population server for whoever plays the game. That they can kind of pick and choose what type of environment they want to play in. But there are some things or some aspects of the game that don't work in that particular category. So as long as they figure that out, which I really do think it will be, some sort of universal like system within the region. Not universal. My aliens are going to queue into Outpost Rush. Regional things where it's like, you know, at least like if I want to hit an Outpost Rush up and my server's kind of low pop or dead, I can do that and not have to worry about transferring, or just put the transfer tokens on the shop for like $5 or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I want to go play on a low pop server for a while and go farm Ori until my heart's content, I'll pay $10. I'll pay $5 to get there and $5 to come back with my Ori. I mean, I'm down for that. And I think at this point, they need to make them more available, because I think let the player decide where they're going to go, but then it gets weird too. Because you have these super companies that go around and conquer servers and kill them, and it's like you don't want that dynamic to happen either. I really do still feel like sharding the system or the servers and having war fatigue and stuff, to where, you know, different companies can own different territories on different shards, but preventing that same person or that same company from warring more than once a day is a great system, but I'm sure it's a lot more complicated than just verbally putting it out there. I'm sure it requires a lot of coding and everything like that. But
yeah,
dude. I'm so excited about the future of New World, and as a fan, also just like, you know, it makes me sad that the current situation that the game is in right now, because I know a lot of people are worried about the long-term health of the game, just because of the state that it's in currently. Which, you know, as a fan, I mean, we have a podcast, a website, you know, more than a fan at this point. But, you know, it's one of those things that it's patch by patch, they are making improvements, but also, you know, you worry that, like, to your point, it is going to take a bigger expansion type of, like, a paid thing to do to get people to come back again in more growth than, like, you know, the people that are currently playing the game.
Yeah, I guess we'll start to see. You know, I keep having in my head. Let's see where we're at in 12 months' time. I spent a good time playing Lost Ark on its launch, because I really wanted. You know, I enjoy playing with our communities. I enjoy playing with my friends, and you know, we all jumped over to Lost Ark, and it's got some amazing features. And this isn't to compare the two, but what I found is that a lot of people were just, I don't know, a lot of people were kind of really hating on New World, and the feelings of, you know, the fact that Lost Ark is so complete versus New World at its current state. So I'm constantly finding myself letting people know, like, the game is still young. Although we've got some people probably nearing 1,500, 2,000 hours at this point, it's still young. And from where it was, do you remember the guy, the dev video they did? You know, they were saying this. They're still, I think a lot of them are survival game players at heart, and there's a lot of that feeling in the game, and they're kind of slowly getting used to it. You know, one of the new updates, finally, is daily and weekly cooldowns are universal. It's not, you know, independently, and there's lots of great changes coming, but there's still a lot of things that need to be fixed. So I went to Lost Ark, I came back to New World, you know, not specifically for this dungeon and the promo, but, you know, my kind of play style is a little bit Lost Ark in the morning, a bit New World in the afternoon, or vice versa, because I enjoy them both. But after like 2 or 3 days of like hardcore playing New World, you start to see the cracks, and you start to feel the bits that aren't fixed yet, and, you know, the kind of the issues of combat and stuff. So if they can really dial down and continue to fix these, everyone who I've spoke to, the last couple of days have been amazing. Obviously, I had the exclusive drop, so many people came through the Twitch channel, which is amazing. Is the game dead? What's changed? I haven't played for months. All this kind of great stuff.
If I have to answer that question one more time,
but you know, people want a game that's working. They're not too worried about new content yet, but just working, and it is really starting to happen. I last kind of bit here is we watched a video recently back from November when we were doing a war versus a war, you know, 2 days ago. It is like a completely different game from what it was to where it is now. So although we play it daily, we don't see those big changes. But yeah, go back a couple of months and watch some of the wars from where they were, for example, and The game really is improving, even though there's still issues. Meta's a bit weird, combat's a bit weird, balancing's a bit messed up. They are really improving the game. It's not to our pace that we all want. We want it fixed yesterday, but it is definitely going. So see where we're at in 12 months' time, and I think it's going to be a solid game. As long as people keep supporting it and keep playing it as it is now, I think it's going to be a top tier in a year's time.
Yeah, I think a lot of us do around the community, for sure. And that's a great point to kind of wrap that up in a bow. Is it has a very bright future, the game does, if they can fix the issues and bring people back with the new content that they're going to bring. And I do think they listen, so I think that new content is going to be exactly what the game needs moving forward. Obviously, dude, overall, the New World team deserves our respect, because at the end of the day, they've done almost everything we've asked for continuously. And to your point about the global cooldowns and everything like that, I think it'll be interesting to look back in a year or two and see where's New World at then compared to where Lost Ark is now, which Lost Ark has already, the Western version has already 3 or 4 years worth of concept and development under its belt. So it'll be interesting to look back on that as well, because I think it's going to be a completely different story than it is at the moment. All right. Well, it's just me now. I did have to step away a little bit yesterday, so cut the podcast short with Danneh, unfortunately. But I did want to get with you guys and kind of put this in your ears, because PTR did receive 2 patches since the last podcast we recorded. Not a lot of major changes. I think one of the best ones that we saw was that now you could queue from Outpost Rush or for Outpost Rush from anywhere. You just hit the escape button and the modes tab, which kind of, again, hints at, potential things in the future. So you can do that. And then, of course, wars were changed to 40v40, but rumor has it that has been reverted. It's kind of now back to 50-50 because they were concerned about the limitation of the amount of people that could participate in the wars with the new roster sizes. I don't know how I feel about that. We didn't get to test out 40v40 at all. So, it would have been nice to have that experience, maybe see the improvement in performance. I know a lot of people thought that the main reduction, or the reason it was reducted was because of the performance. So I guess we won't know if they do revert that back, but I kind of hope it does make it to live and they figure out new ways to get more people involved in wars. Another thing is daily faction mission token rewards had been increased by 5 times. 5 times, guys. It's insane. I know a lot of people just made sure that they were doing their daily PvP quests because, it was very good in the faction token department as well as the gold department. You get a multiplier every time you do, X amount of daily missions. 5 times more is a lot, guys. So it's almost a guarantee, a pro tip, that you will always be doing your daily missions every day. It's one of the first things you want to do when you log in because of how fruitful the reward is. A lot of these other things, boys, are just fixes. You know what I mean? Just bug fix here, bug fix there. Basically, the entirety of patch notes for patch note 3 or patch 3 on the PTR is just fixes, which I think is good. I do think that this patch is getting close. I don't know how close to being launched, but we would assume probably next week is the most likely time. If it's delayed a little bit because of issues that are known issues, then maybe the week after that. But it does look like we're potentially going to get that patch next week. So, all right, boys, that's about it. Boys and girls, that's about it. Let's hop over to the company of the week. All right, so the company of the week this week is called the Crimson Legion. Now, the Crimson Legion is the Marauders. They are on NA East server. They have a question mark probably when they first put it up, but I bet it's a question mark now too because everybody's moving around server to server. But Crimson Legion is the perfect for everyone looking for a good time. We offer a safe, fun environment for every player in a tournament. We have an officer position open, so feel free to climb into our ranks and build trust within our company. No need to apply in this company. Just read the rules in our Discord and hop right in. The Discord link is over on New World Fans, so we'll try to link that in the script description of the video. We thank you to Crimson Legion and of course all of our Patreons for using New World Fans to advertise your companies, to read our guides, use our map, the builder. You guys are legends. Thank you so much for supporting us in that manner. All right, guys. Well, just again, special thank you for the patience on this episode. I know we had a lot of, or just one interruption in particular, but we'll be back on track next week. We do have the update on Lamoni. We forgot to update you last week when he was supposed to be on the first time. He will be on next week. BDLG and him will be on the podcast. So, a lot more baldness. But it'd be good to have Lamoni on the episode as well. All right, guys. Well, again, thank you for listening. We really appreciate it. And we'll see you on another episode of New World to Go.